Me and Jesse are producing a show in a bodega.
Yeah, March 23rd at 684 College Street in Toronto. So make sure you guys show up. The Greenhouse, Chopped Cheese Comedy.
DA Greenhouse on Instagram.
Yeah.
But we are starting a show. It's going to be a very different show. It's in a bodega, so we're very much going to be in line with that vibe and theme for the show.
Definitely.
We're going to be chopping it up every month, different themes and different subjects. It'll be mostly me and Jesse, but then we'll bring in our friends to round out the show.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that if you're in the Toronto area and listening to the podcast.
We've gotten a lot lazier. Comics have gotten more bummy, license. You know what I mean? How many comics you know, man? They're like 10 years in, no license. You're like, how? How do you not have a license? It makes everything so much easier. Get out, get around, drive.
If we're talking about unhealthy Canadian comedy, like I don't think there's a bigger contributor than this festival right here.
It is weird. It's a Canadian festival. It always does the Canadians the dirtiest. It gives us the least top billing. You barely see Canadian names on the posters. There's a lot of very impactful, important Canadians. Phil
Jimbo. And Jim Carrey are probably... Russell is up there for me comedically. If I had to bump a person out, it would have to be Hartman just because he's not a stand-up. I would put Russ in there.
Martin Short.
Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5. Welcome to the show where we talk about life, talk about the come up, and sometimes we fight. But in the end, it ain't a thing, cause we ain't trying to be right. We're just old new niggas with another podcast. This is season 5, episode 7. Wanna know the true teachings of Jesus? Then shut the fuck up and listen. We out here talking about the secret teachers, nigga. But we comedians, so don't listen to what we saying, bitch. This is just a comedy podcast, bro. This is just a comedy podcast. But maybe you're Jesus. You know, maybe. I don't know.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5.
What's going on, beautiful people? Yeah, we're back for another episode of Black Zeus, the podcast. It's season 5, episode 7. I'm so happy you're here, because with you here, it feels like we're in heaven. That was the gayest shit I could have said, but fucking nigga, we're going forward instead. Is this a Dr. Seuss episode? I gotta smoke more weed, bro. How are you guys doing? How are the beautiful people? I hope you guys had a good week. Welcome back. You want to be beautiful people? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, do the like stuff, leave a comment. You know, I don't beg. If you like what you like, bro, do the thing. Do the thing. That's it, nigga. I love you. You know, you want to be a beautiful person, just hit the sub. Right now, you looking kind of ugly, my nigga. That's anyways, you know what it is. We're back here for another week to talk about comedy shit. Dante is once again sick, but I have arranged for another very special guest to come in today. But before we get to that, let me do the things that I'm supposed to do properly as a comedian here and promote some shows. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a bunch of shows still lined up for the month of March. That's what we're in, right? Yes. So this episode will air, I think, in time for you guys to make it to Comedy Bar West on the 12th. I will be at the Corner Comedy Club 10 o'clock show on the 15th. The 23rd, mark that shit on your calendars. If you're trying to go to a dope, new, fresh show in Toronto, it's Chopped Cheese Comedy, produced and hosted by myself and Jesse Singh, who was last week's guest. If you didn't see the episode, go check it out. It was a fire episode. We are producing a monthly show called Chopped Cheese. It's in a bodega on College Street. And every month, we're just going to be tackling different subjects, doing a co-headline spot, and we're going to bring out a friend to round out the show. This month's subject, I think, is religion. And then, we're trying to, everybody's talking about random goofy shit, but we're a little more on the serious side, but we make it funny. That's the whole point. It's comedy. Don't forget, we make it funny. We'll be laughing about religion. So, don't tell your religious parents or whatever. I got more shows. Let me get back to that. 28th, Scarborough is a joke. I'm very excited for that. As of recording, they are 60% sold out. The tickets are all in my links. So if you hit the link tree button on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on any of my socials, you'll find all the ticket links there. Scarborough is a joke in Scarborough, Ontario, on the 28th. And then we're ending the month at Nubian Show, the 31st. It is no longer a Just for Laughs showcase. I deserve that. I deserve that. I may be laughing too hard at other people's misery. But Nubian show is still happening. It is not a Just for Laughs showcase. It's just some of the most fire comedians in the city on one show at one time. That's it. And before we get too further into this, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Well, let's do some magic editing and all that bullshit. And we're back with my special guest. Blah. Welcome back, beautiful people. I am ready to announce this week's special guest. Bro, I never know how to do this. You can tell I don't have guests on. I'm ready to announce. I turned into some weird TV douche. Listen, my very good friend, longtime friend, amazing comedian. I'm pretty sure he's a black man incarnated in a white man's body. Okay? I don't even know if that's a good intro. He might not like. Yo, please, everybody, put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Keven Soldo. Yeah. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me on here. It's nice to, that we finally get to link.
Do you have a lighter, by the way?
I do.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for that intro. I don't know how I feel about the black thing. I'm not gonna cancel you. I'm fine with it, but I feel like there might definitely be some people that will be upset at the fact they call this fucking guy full skin head. You know what I mean? It's not a hello. Yeah.
Nigga, you're a guru, bro.
I know, man.
Ain't nobody gonna look at you like you to me are like what Rick Rubin tries to be. You know what I mean?
That's unbelievably kind of you to say.
I don't know Rick.
Yeah, I don't know Rick either, man. So I don't want to talk down on him because he does seem like a wise dude too. I would love to sit down with a conversation with him
I
too.
just ruined your opportunity.
I know. I think so. He's gonna come back. He goes, "No, man. I saw that little segment you did with."
Oh,
Zeus.
you think you're the better me? He pulls out all those fucking records.
To say though, with that intro, thank you for bringing me into that group chat, man. You make me feel like Jimbo, man. You made me feel like Jim Carrey in Living Color. You know what I mean? You know when he got the pass from the Wayans brothers?
Yeah.
That's how, when I can't even say the group name. No, I can't, you know what I mean?
He really can't, bro.
I can't.
It's not
I'm
even because he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
To be fair though, you can.
I'm sure I can, man.
It's an Ethiopian word.
Listen, I'm sure I could even get the full pass, maybe, and with the right group of people, I'd be like, yeah, it was a solo, that's fine, but I'm not. No, man. That's. But thank you for that. That's like it's. I do appreciate it because I really do enjoy the conversations that group gets into. I really I like it, man. I like where the headspaces go and you surround yourself with some very wise and brilliant people. So good
love and respect, bro. And you're also part of that crew, so.
I know, man, and it means a lot. I genuinely appreciate that. I really do feel like
that's fire,
Jim
bro.
Carrey in the '90s.
That's fire, bro. Because I actually that's some great context you just gave me. Because I think I greater understand all the things he used to say about that show.
Yeah, man. He said the same thing, and it's like I admire that too. Where he was like, the Wayans were the only ones that gave him a chance. Nobody else in Hollywood was really fucking with them. Nobody was like, no, it's true, man.
Are you saying this is the only group chat that acknowledges you might be a black man in a white man's body?
No, I wouldn't even say that. It's you let it's one of the few places that you can you can go and really talk some different kind of shit.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Do you not have that in the comedy community?
No, man, no chance. The amount of stuff, I don't know, man. That's what I hunger for most, I'd say, like that really good deep conversation of like the far out stuff, man, and or the really far back stuff, the really historical stuff. Who are you going to talk to? Man, I could barely talk to comedians about cars, and that's the next biggest interest in my life.
Yeah,
and it's like there's
gearheads. A boss is a gearhead.
Yeah, he's all right. I don't talk to him much, but you know what I mean? But there's very few, man. It's not like, again, it doesn't feel like the old days where it's like Jay Leno, Tim Allen, all those guys were like total car nuts. Yeah, and it was, I get it. But
also the time of like, because what you just said, bro, everybody back then, I think, was into cars in some way.
A
shape, or
little bit
form.
more, because I also think, again, man, I think we've gotten a lot lazier. Comics have gotten more bummy, no license. You know what I mean? How many comics you know, man? They're like 10 years in, no license. You're like, how? How do you not have a license? It makes everything so much easier. Get out, get around, drive. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We somehow managed to just get by on Subway.
There's, I think it's me, you, and one other comedian in this group chat. And you know what, bro? Hearing you say that, because I just had a conversation with a comic the other day, and they said the exact same thing to me. Because I was expressing how the reason why I don't really hang out and anymore is because I'm kind of lame, bruh. I like reading for some reason, which is a weird thing for me to even say out loud, because I fucking never read, bro. And I got more books. I have more books than I've read. So I'm not even trying to be like I'm some sort of.
You own more books than you've actually.
Correct.
Well,
correct.
that's
also a
good
thing.
Time, yeah. You'll get.
But
to
I really don't care a flip switch in my brain. I don't give a fuck for the not meaningless. Because I don't know, I sound maybe like some fucking old fart when I say this, but it's like, if we're not talking real shit, the majority of the time at this stage of my life, where I've been a procrastinator and I've been lazy for the majority of my fucking adolescence, and I fucked off a lot of good time and energy.
Guilty.
I feel like not like, again, the journey is a journey, but 100% had I applied myself a little earlier, maybe I'd be a little further ahead. And have a little more accessibility to shit.
I agree, but I don't know if I would have done it differently.
I wouldn't.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that.
I don't know. If I look back, I get it. I could see all the points. Could have picked it up there. Could have picked. But also, life is this beautiful thing. Enjoy. Right. I can say, the one thing I can say, I've just about enjoyed every moment of life, man. What's not to enjoy? I'm grateful for. So if at the end of it you go, oh, I could have networked more, I don't care, man. I enjoyed life. I lived.
We're talking about life in total. In total,
man. And if you want to get specific, I could say for sure when I started comedy, that entire process, that has been nothing but pure enjoyment coming from the regular life, the 9 to 5, that kind of shit.
We sharing joints?
Well, I got mine. Unless you want some of this, you do the.
Well, I got a moon rocket over here. I don't know
I'll trade you.
Shout out to Fukushima moon rockets.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them at your local native dispensary in Ontario or all across Canada. Your fine native retailers. Am I supposed to say native or Aboriginal? Like, what am I? Indigenous?
Is that the only way? Like, they all have them? They all carry moon rockets for the most part?
I know they're across Canada, and they're mostly at the Indigenous shops. I'll say that. So, like, yo, bro, natives and black people, we one and the same. So don't even try and cancel me, my nigga. What's going on right now?
No, I really do like and appreciate the natives.
Yeah, bro.
What's up?
Shout out. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. You might be a nigga. What are you talking about right now? How uncomfortable is that?
I don't know. Obviously, not to compare any of it, but it's just like when you see some shit, other shit starts to make sense. You know what I mean? Or when you go through stuff, then you're like, I understand other things more and to a greater length.
That I think is the more important thing. Is like once you really start to understand, it's like the hardships are more lessons.
Yeah,
I haven't even read this fully, but I keep because I know enough of it. But Dante's Inferno, have you ever read or heard of this poem? Or it's like a famous book.
I think it's a book.
Yeah.
If you want to take the Coles notes and the easy way, there's a really funky anime that's, I think maybe in the
based
last
off the video
10
game.
years. No. Last 10 years or so, it's about Dante's Inferno, the 7 levels of hell. He's climbing through the levels, the different. It's
and then
really,
heaven on the other side.
Yeah, man, and it's a guy crawling his way out of hell. For the sake of love. Really, he was chasing, I guess, a bit of tail, I think. He was trying to get the love of his life back, so he goes through these different layers of hell. And that's a really profound story. Because when you really start to look at it, you're like, you can really see those similarities in life of like,
I personally
a lot
believe
of us are in hell or get to hell at some point or another. And if you're lucky, you figure out a way to crawl your ass out of that and climb through those, like the stages of grief.
I don't even think it's luck, bro. You just have to be bold enough.
You have to. Yeah, it's the what do you want to call it? The hero's journey.
Fearless. Yeah,
it's the you know what I mean. It's like that thing of I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna take that challenge and
But
you know.
why I so personally connect to that story is because I've like my life experiences are hellish. Like the amount of times that I've moved, just the typical stuff to, you know, the single parent household.
Sure.
But like
Sure.
all the extra shit that most people don't deal with. Like, and how do white people call it? I'm a mutt, bruh. I'm a mutt. Like I'm
You
an
are,
African that
right,
was
right.
born in Greece that was raised in Canada.
Right.
None of it made sense, bro. I thought I was white for like the first fucking 15 years of my life. Like first 12 to 15 years of my life, it was crazy. I was a follower. I followed all the trends. I didn't know who I was. I was angry. I fought a lot. I was just hanging out with all the bad people. The bad people, quote unquote. They're actually like, bro, there is no bad people.
Man, but see,
There
I
is no
find
bad people.
so many similarities to that, to my own journey of life too, of always having that fascination for the bad guys and all that stuff, and who ended up being more often than not the sweetest human beings in existence. They're some of the most genuine people, and then you start to understand why they're viewed as negative and bad and all that stuff.
Yep.
Just kind of for the most part because they didn't fit in, and
there's another reason too, but I'll let you.
I agree, but that sense of like whatever kind of hardships we go through, and that's the funky part, and it took me a long time in life to understand, is whatever hardships we go through, because everyone usually thinks their hardships are the toughest, and they are, I guess, for whatever they're going through. You know what I mean? Who are we to say who's, you know, but then whatever your hardships are, like, you know, man, for the most part, we lived and grew up in Canada. So our worst hardships are like,
I get emails from cousins. I get letters from cousins back home, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, man. I got cousins when I went to visit them back home too. The Balkan block, and you start talking to those guys, and I forget sometimes too, man. You know, they're a little bit younger than me, but it was like, yo, they went through legit civil war. They had to see that stuff, experience that stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, man, that was not the case. I remember having to listen to it on the radio, and that was like. That's the extent of the trauma, you know, just like hearing on the radio what's going on in a foreign land where your family is, but then to experience it, that's a whole different world, man. That creates a whole different perspective, you know? So it's like, that's interesting.
One of the key pieces I figured out in my own life, and then when you start, because like the thing about, I think the one thing that binds all comedians is psychology to some level, whether you acknowledge it or not. Like comedians are untrained psychologists. Like we are really tuned into human behavior. And we're making, because that's all we really know how to make fun of. It's like we notice things in life.
You're studying the human condition.
Correct. And then just fucking addressing it. Whether you take it seriously on stage or you want to tell dick and fart jokes, you're still picking up from life, you know?
Yeah.
And not necessarily always a person.
Right. No, and I think for the most part too, man, I see it very often. Typically, the topics I bring up aren't always fan favorites. It's not always what people want to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes people even get uncomfortable because, you know, not that long ago, I was a show and some dude was like, shouts out in the middle of the setup, and my timing's longer, man. But this guy goes, you know, we didn't come here to hear real shit.
Oh my God.
And then, you know, that in itself just made me laugh, where you're like, I get it. I get what you're here for. You know what I mean? Then the guy just starts laughing at nonstop, you know, pee-pee poo-poo stuff. Let's just laugh at the, you know, and I get it. I'm not faulting anybody for that, but
I think it's necessary. I think it's all necessary.
For sure. And I still see like, so you're going to draw on that side of life. That dude's brain revolves around like, I'm going to go out and I just want to hear dick and pussy stuff. And that's like, that's part of the human condition, you know? So
and I think too now, especially with, you know, the intensity of the war, like everybody's social media feed is just intense.
I know, man.
You know, and like I can imagine, because I'm the same way, right? Like this is why I relate to you so much. When I see you on stage sometimes, I know you must have seen me on stage sometimes, and like when we're tackling kind of a deeper issue, but we're just starting to figure out the joke of it.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to do. Like I always feel like, especially now with the lack of mics, you know, like there's not really as many rooms to go work shit out. So it's like we're kind of working more stuff out in a room where maybe I wasn't always gonna work out a new joke, but I sneak one in now.
Yeah, I mean, man, I like the idea of working out new I hate being chained up to the jokes. I hate that, I don't like the fact that expression, that cliche of like, you're as good as your last set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that steers a lot of it, man. People will see you,
Yeah.
and if you don't hit right every single time, with that time you don't hit well, they go, "Oh yeah, I don't know." And then you see, like, you'll get, I don't know if we can put you on the next show, and it's like, man, whatever. That's you know what I mean. If you do it, you're not gonna hit every single time. And even still, it's not on you to hit every single time. And I know I'm not for everybody. So I know if there's an imbalance, like, you know what I mean? Do you fault somebody for walking a crowd? Nobody enjoys it. You know what I mean? Nobody likes the thing of like, fuck, yeah, I got to go after now half the crowd walked. But at the other end of it, you're like, yo, man, you to be able to make that crowd walk is also, it's a Patrice thing, man. It's a
what would he say is like, you don't want the whole crowd loving you. It's like,
yeah, see, I love that.
Like,
you almost want it
though.
50-50 because that's kind of the world.
That's the truth.
You know what I mean? You're going to do men and women jokes. That's 50-50 right there. You go half the room's women, half the room's men. If you do the joke right, they're not going to side with you. The women are going to be like, oh, fuck this guy. And then the dudes will be like, yeah, this guy's saying some shit.
Sometimes the ratios are even more skewed.
For sure.
Like because I 100% agree with what you're saying. And what I boil that down to is you have an artist approach to comedy. As much do I.
Sure, I agree.
I think.
I agree.
You correct me if I'm wrong. But
agree.
because what you're describing is you're not creating for the audience. That's an artist mindset. You're telling the jokes that you want to tell, as am I. We're inspired by what we're inspired by, which is more deep things in life. So naturally our comedy is going to gravitate towards that. I have really enjoyed the challenge of like finding a way to make all of that not just like relatable, but funny to even that guy that you described. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I love The Corner, bro. That's why I
enjoyed
love
the
The
most
Corner,
too, man.
Because you get such a mix of people, and it's exactly what a club is supposed to be. Like tight, low ceilings, black box. And
it's a perfect raw audience.
Yes.
They're from wherever. They're from, you know what I mean? And now that's a great thing. Whereas a lot of shows, a lot of themed shows, so you get a very particular audience, this and that. This is always just like that thing of it's just comedy. So you're going to get it's a variety of comedy. And you know that going in, and it just gets people from wherever, people in town visiting from all over the world. You get regular comedy nuts. You get a Friday night out that just wants something to do.
But sometimes you get, for me, like this is, and like you're always there, so you probably have seen this. There's times where there's no black people in the crowd. There's times where there's a lot of like, there's very rarely white people, like very rarely, but no white people in the crowd. Actually, I don't think that's ever happened. But like a little amount.
I think it has. I'm sure
possibly.
It has.
I mean, it's Toronto, so for me to say that is crazy. But the point that I'm making is I now flex. Like, if I sense that people in the crowd are atheists, I'll try my religious stuff. If I sense people in the crowd are drug people, I'll try my anti-drugs. Like,
Yeah, I see.
This is me challenging myself.
Man, I get that, and I hats off to you for it. Like, I genuinely respect that approach, and I try to do that. But you know what? What fucked me up too was when was it, during the pandemic and shit, when things started coming back. I did one show where I walked half the audience because I did a poke joke, and you know,
a what joke?
A poke joke.
Oh,
you know, and I don't want to say it for the sake of your channel.
Yeah, thank you.
But it was funny because, you know, I didn't even say anything. Like, if you look at it, I did it as clean as humanly possible, man. It was you could not make it more sanitized because I didn't say the word. I didn't, like, it was just the insinuation. So you're insinuating the thing in your head.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking what I'm saying and changing the words around.
You're playing with people's,
and so half the crowd, young kids, man, young 20-year-old girls, mad, cussed me out, said the worst things imaginable about me.
Do not joke about that.
No, like they straight up attacked me, man. They were like, "You're a fucking piece of garbage. What the fuck do you like?" Just assaulted me with
Canada,
words.
Or was this when you
this
went
was
to
in
Cali?
Canada, man. This was at the corner. This was during the lockdown and shit.
Okay.
Or no, just after when things were allowed and things started coming back, and it was still like too soon, I guess. But you're like, man, fuck it, I want to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. And then you start seeing, but when you walk that, you're like, man, that's not my intention. I'm not looking to walk. I'm not looking to get everybody on my side, but I'm not looking to walk the show.
Of course.
So I don't want to. I do want to try to find that thing that unifies people. How do we get something that we don't want to talk about to see something similar in it? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I want.
100%.
I don't need you on my side, but I do need you to see something. I
think the
need you to
difficulty-
see something.
I think the difficulty for acts and comics like us, or people like us in the world of comedy, is that because much like we don't have many people, like you said, in the comedy community to have these conversations with, that's the majority of people.
I
So
understand that.
like, yeah,
I
so like,
understand that.
so it's like I've had to remind myself, not always, because I actually forgot for a while. I've never been on that stage being like, I have a point to make. You know what I mean? I've always had something funny to say that's been about a point. But I got to a place at a certain, like a time ago where I felt like it was almost like too preachy. I had to remind myself, this is comedy. My number one job is to make sure these people are laughing. So that's when I started challenging myself and being like, okay, so how do I do what I want to do? Because ultimately, like, I have mantras that I go through, bro, before I go up on stage. And maybe this is actually what praying is to center yourself mentally. I'm saying the things that I'm trying to do on stage, that I'm trying to accomplish, and that might not be necessarily to say certain jokes. It might be to get a certain point or energy or message across. But
Yes.
I've had to always stamp it with, be funny, my nigga. Like, and that's, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's been a shift. Something clicked for me in the past, like, I'd say year. But really in the last 2 years, I've completely shifted, but my inhibitions went away. You know what it was? Yo, Kev, you know what it fucking was, bro? I stopped, and this is really, like, this is more of a life mental switch up.
Okay.
I stopped denying the experiences that I've lived to myself. I have lived a life that if I wrote on paper, people wouldn't believe some of the things that I wrote. So I don't write them or I don't say them to people. But because of that, I've kind of put them in the back of my mind where they actually fucking happened to me, my nigga. Am I gonna deny my own experiences to myself? And this is where other people's like fucking weakness. This is why everybody's fucking influenced by fucking some bullshit ass leader like Trudeau or some horse shit. Cause they don't have a spine. They deny their own experience. They know that what they tap into their fucking arm during a global
The junkies.
bro.
Yeah.
You know that would, like, you knew that you felt a type of way about it, but you did it because some commercial told you to. I was on the TTC and it's like, you're killing my grandma. I'm like, what?
And they had that. They had those ads on the back of the bus.
Yeah, they
you
did.
couldn't. So man, I've whatever, man. I've waged a one-man war against marketing for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Everything about it. That's part of the reason why, like, it feels like poison to me in terms of comedy and all this, when I have to, like, it's always sales and I got to sell shit and I got to, like, it just, there's something about it that just takes the art out of it for me, you know, and it really pains me. And I get it. I get the need for it. So I'm not knocking it, but for me, it just kills that, some of that magic, of like,
I understand that.
you can't escape it. So it's no wonder people's brains start to think a certain way.
Yeah, 100%.
like
That, to me, what you're describing is the social media trend, what happened to comics. All of a sudden, social media became the quote-unquote way to become a famous comedian, and everybody forgot that
I know.
there's multiple pathways to do. It's just...
I would like to hope so, because I have to believe that, I have to think that there are these other ways, because I don't know, man, what happens, what makes me laugh is what happens if the power goes out. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they flick the switch and internet's off tomorrow, we can't upload the video. We're all digital. There's no more. This is the camera I look at if I want to say something. There's no more records. There's no more DVDs. So everything is now digital.
Yeah.
And everything can be, man, I don't trust Digi. It can be changed in an instant. You got 1984 right there, right? Read it, and it tells you, like, yo, man, you alter the books, you cook the books live right away. So you don't know, man. And then, but we function and exist.
Yeah.
Our whole purpose and the reason why, man, the reason why porn stars try to do comedy is because it's the one and only thing where you go, it's live and direct. It's instant feedback. There's no other thing to it. There's preaching. And then there's comedy in a way, man. What else are you doing where you're and TEDx's? You have TED Talks. You know, like what is it? That's that. What other options is there for getting things out? We exist outside of this. Some people don't. That's what's funny to me. Some people don't. You know, I was writing this thing the other day that, like, again, man, you know, this is funny to me how we fucking use words, marketing, how we sell shit, how the way we talk is ill.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we say things. Something's cool, it's sick. We want to go viral.
Yeah.
Do you know what so we want to go viral. That's what we're encouraged to do.
I want to go sick.
We want to be influencers. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to be we don't want to be inspirational. We don't want to be informative. We want to be influential. You got flu right in the word. It's bound to make you sick. Do you know what I mean? That what are you gonna do? So I'm a big TikTok star because I did this thing. Okay, and then it's like, well, now what do you do if that goes down? If they go TikTok no more, time's up. TikTok.
You chase the next thing.
I guess.
Dog wagging.
You know,
its
can
own,
you really
like,
tour? Can you tour that? Can I do those? Can I do those online tricks live?
There are people that, you know, like,
sure.
Kudos to the comics that know this and just can, like, I don't know, they don't, like, they could just work past it because for whatever reason, I just can't. I can't play that game. I can't.
It is. I get it, man. I understand, and it works for some people. And when it works, it really works too. You can, if you're really smart with it, if you're really good with marketing, you can carve out a perfect niche.
But to me, it's manipulation.
You can.
Man.
I mean, I
guess everything is manipulation.
Yeah, we're manipulating the room too, in a way, man. We're manipulating
Comedy
the room
itself.
to laugh at our silly.
But that
thoughts,
just, I don't know.
right?
I guess maybe that feels slimy to me, or feels it feels not purposeful. It feels commercial, bro. And like that's ultimately what it is. That is the artist in me, bro. And I know that the second you add money to anything, the integrity is gone. So I mean, money's been the sole reason to do anything forever, right? So what does that tell you about all of life? I mean, and that's not even our fault because we were born into this shit.
I get it.
That's the trap, right?
Or we're born into it, or we keep coming back to it. That's the other thing. There's always something. We've been trading
until you
we've been
until you do all your cycles and learn all the lessons. And
but you know what I mean. So maybe.
I'm gonna put this over here. All right. We're 30 minutes into this. We haven't done the comedy recap, but guess what? This is the part of the show where we do the comedy recap. And for me, it's really easy this week. I had shows on Friday that I couldn't make it to. Didn't book any shows for the rest of the weekend. Comedy recap, done. All right. Kev, how was your week for shows? I hope you did some because I just talked about nothing.
I had a good fun week of shows, man.
Anything you want to highlight?
I mean,
or can you please highlight at least one of those things for me?
I enjoyed. Last night was a lot of fun, man. Last night I did the corner.
Okay, what time?
The 8:00. Usually I do the late show.
Yeah.
This one was the early one.
Saturday 8:00 corner
Saturday,
downtown Toronto.
Downtown.
Fire.
You know the room. And it was a lot of fun, man. It was like the. Look, all I ever really ask for is the crowd to listen. If they're listening, I'll handle the rest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. Don't interrupt. You know, if I ask a question, it's one thing, but I'm done with, like, I have stuff I want to get to and things I want to talk about. I don't want to I don't like doing crowd work as much anymore. You know, like I have My time's limited. I got to get a few things out.
You have the stuff that you want to.
Yeah. So as long as they're listening, I couldn't care less, man. If they're hammered, if they're whatever.
So let me ask you this before we move on to the next thing, because you went to Cali for a bit. How long were you there for? This last, because you go every once in a while, but this last round, I feel like you were gone the longest.
I went for a little bit. Yeah, I don't even. I was bouncing around a few places, so I didn't even really keep track of the time.
You were gone for like over a year?
No, I don't think
Under?
so. No,
Like
under.
six-
And I was bouncing around, man. I was in like Costa Rica for a little bit too, and
Shit,
just
okay.
yeah, like
Whatever
I was
happened,
really
This last round,
mhm,
sorry to cut you off, but whatever happened this last round when you were in Cali,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe perception wise, or maybe you were posting more about it, but it felt like you were doing more shows out that way. And I don't know what happened when you came back, but you came back like leveled up on stage. And we haven't really sat and talked properly about this. I always been meaning to ask you, like, what the like, what was your time in Cali like? What was the scene like out there where you plugged in? Did you get to do like more than?
No, man, I did nothing at all.
That's fucking hilarious. That's you did no show. Oh, so it's almost like you put an emphasis on living a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you came back and
Yeah, I seen so much out there.
yeah,
Man, I'm very grateful for just that experience in life in general, man. You know, I got to I got to have some really like just magical moments, man. I saw there were dolphins hopping out of the water next to us on a boat. You know what I mean? Like we got to see things, man. I went fishing, caught a shark. Like it's I've never done that
wild.
before, and so it was it's just an overall neat experience, and I think that leveled up life.
yeah.
And also in doing that.
Huh.
It was just, man, I'm very thankful and grateful for the people that I've met, and yeah, man, just being able to share the stage with the guys I was sharing the stage with. You know, I had Amir K is a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Yo, I'm doing these shows if you want to jump on them," and man, I couldn't have asked for that. Do you know? It was just such a thing where it was unexpected. The
Time and
timing just
place.
worked. I was there, and the timing of it just worked. And yeah, I got to experience some really new things, man. I got to really see a new side of it, and being able to do a lot of my material down there, seeing the response it got down there was also very eye-opening for me too. Where yeah, man, the Americans are an interesting bunch.
Yeah.
They're cool, man. We were in like South Cali, San Diego, and their reactions, they didn't pull back to any of the jokes I had. They were like gung ho about it, and
They're trained comedy audience. Like the whole country knows what
I
comedy
guess
is.
so, man.
Here,
And
Canada
so-
doesn't fuck with comedy
Yeah,
in a weird way.
here we still get hurt by words really easy. So
Yeah, fair enough.
do you know what I mean? So
More of
you
a
see
cultural
it,
thing.
Yeah, so you see it right away, and then as soon as you're like, wow, man, just words are already throwing you off. You're not listening to. But down there, it was like really, it was neat, man, because they were, it was like I couldn't go too far out with them. Like they were kind of with me. It was neat.
That's fire.
Um,
Do you like performing in the States better? Or have you?
I genuinely, I do enjoy performing anywhere. Like it's nice to see other places too. Like I haven't experienced Europe yet, and I feel like that would be a really cool place comedically too.
Well, if you're not trying to do the trip with your girl, you want to go to fucking Europe and do some. Like, would you do Edinburgh Fringe? Would you do a
I want to
month?
time. I want to time that. I do. I
That's
want
a
to see,
free-
but
that's a
see
freaky
again,
venture to
man. I also want to be able to see Scotland. Like, so I want to spend some time out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I know the festival's a month, but
Yeah. See, so yeah, you more do like
That's-
life trips.
a little bit. Yeah, I tried to do it that way just because it just. I don't know.
Well,
Man.
it's
I
got to be
take the-
beneficial having an actual like partner in your life that you fuck with, that you can go and
That's
then
I'm very grateful for that. Absolutely.
even on a trip go do comedy and it like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we both support each other in what we do, and so that definitely helps. It helps having that support system there.
You heard it here first, folks. Not all comedians are depressed, and it turns out Having a clean and healthy life and good partner makes your comedy better. Who fucking knew?
I mean, yeah, that stuff. I think in general that does. I think that whole. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm tired of that sad comedy. You know, like
I don't think that exists anymore, bro. I
hope not. I hope not.
I think it's more
but
nuanced at this point. Hopefully,
I hope so. Because that stuff's really like, you know, I don't buy into that anymore. That comedians are the most depressed, and you're like, no, I think a lot of them live. It's tricky to see things, but
you know what? I'm crazy enough to believe.
Yeah, go for it.
I think I'm going to be one of the first, if not the first, comedian to blow up from Canada, not having to leave. I believe in myself that much.
That you could blow up here?
From here.
Yeah, man,
I obviously, my goal and objective is I want to do comedy around the world. I want to go to the States very badly. You know, like you said, I want to go to Europe very badly. Yeah. I want to go to Australia. Like I want to go Asia, bro. There's a comedy scene. I want to go to Africa, bro.
I've been to
like what the fuck?
Can I say this? Just to say, one of the most beautiful places that I got to experience and got to do comedy and was treated like, man, hands down, just wonderfully out there. Just their like outlook towards comedians and stuff was Thailand. And it was really like it was a really beautiful place, and it was a fun show. And man, when you start seeing that,
apparently has a fucking
there's a little run that you could do out there that man, I would definitely recommend.
Man, see, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, I don't want to be stuck in this little. But I love Canada. But the thing that breaks my heart is name any Canadian comedian that you love. And most people would be like, he's from California. Like Jim Carrey is an American comic at this point.
Norm is, I guess everybody knew him.
Who are your
in
top
the
three
States,
Canadian comedians?
Canadian comedians?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Norm Macdonald.
That's my number one.
Who else do we got, man? That's tricky. There is a lot of great.
For me, I have off the beaten path ones. He's a vaudeville. I don't know if he did stand up. Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman's,
such an impactful,
yeah.
Like from everything he did in The Simpsons, but it's SNL.
Yes. Lionel Hutz, attorney at law.
I quote this man literally like every week in my life, still to this day.
Yeah, he was legendary, man. And it's tragic what happened to him. That is that's a very
go look up Phil like a legendary. He was in news radio, but more famously he was Troy McClure and what was the lawyer?
Lionel Hutz, attorney
from The Simpsons. Iconic voice actor. He was Saturday Night Live alumni.
That one, he goes, I rest my case, Your Honor. And they go, you can't say that. He goes, oh, right. Case closed. And then he just shuts the briefcase. Worst attorney ever.
It's too many.
Yeah, Phil Hartman is absolutely legendary.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
And who else, man? I don't know. There's a lot of very impactful, important
Norm,
Canadians,
Phil and Jim Carrey are probably. Russell is up there for me comedically. If I had to bump a person out, it would have to be Hartman, just because he's not a stand-up. I would put Russ in there.
Martin Short.
I never liked Jiminy Glick or whatever when I was a kid.
What's Jiminy Glick?
When he was in the fat suit and he did like movie reviews or something.
Yeah, no,
I don't know that.
Man, one of my all-time favorite
shit.
movies. You ever watch Clifford?
No.
Where that's one of the funniest. That old, he plays a kid, like he plays a 12-year-old kid, and it's really just him on his knees.
Yeah,
the whole movie, like it's.
I don't really know.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. It's this kid that wants to go to this theme park, and his uncle lies to him, and he's like
Should I look this up?
Yeah, he's like a really evil kid. And it's really, really funny, dude.
What's the movie called?
Clifford, with Martin Short. That to me was one of the. And he's Canadian, right? Montreal?
Yeah. Oh, Mike Myers, another Canadian.
Yeah, Mike Myers is also legendary.
You know what's funny is like all those dudes are from around here.
Yeah, and they all pretty much kicked it all. They all kicked it around here.
Clifford is a very special little boy. This is very 80s. Oh my god!
Yeah, and he's just funny in this.
Is that a Canada Post logo in the back?
No, I don't know what that. They're in the States. He had to go to the States to.
Of course he did. What year did this come out?
This was, I don't know, maybe late 80s, early 90s.
This very much looks like
this
it. I love that shot.
Yeah, dude,
classic airplane shot of a little toy model of an airplane.
It feels like these sort of movies kind of
1994
died down. 94, see? It feels like some of these movies kind of died down, man. The extra silly ones, but with really Like
Martin
now
Short.
everything
Okay, so
seems.
there's Mike Myers. See, like it's even hard to
That's what
name
I'm
them,
telling
but
you,
there's so
Canadian-
many. And you
yeah.
know what sucks about every single one that we've named?
What's that?
Nothing happened for them until they moved to the States.
Yeah,
Canadians have them. Let's talk to Canada
hang
real
on,
quick.
man. Let's talk to you real quick. Who are you employed by currently?
Myself?
Are you working with the club?
What do you mean? I'm not.
Where do you work?
I'm not. I'm like a floaty sign.
Okay, like a free agent kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I haven't signed any paperwork, but I am working. I am working with them. I
Okay,
love you.
get
I
that,
love
man.
Yucks.
I'm
love
just
Yucks.
saying, I think they're also part of the reason. They always are like, you got to go to the States. They kind of.
Because the structure they set up.
I guess I don't know. I guess so.
Interesting.
But I think that's wasn't that what happened with Jimbo? Didn't he get told like?
He was literally told, that,
Yeah.
hey, no.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
That's all
But
I'm
what-
saying. I get it. I know.
You know what?
That's
It's
part
got-
of the reason.
100%. I think that. I think the structure. I think everything about the way comedy exists in Canada is responsible. Not even just comedy.
But I also
art.
think that's changing. I think there's a big change too.
For everything but comedy, bro. Okay,
No,
yeah,
even
we
comedy,
got
man.
artists now that are known from Canada. Because who do we have? Drake, The Weeknd, and Justin Bieber. Like it's all musicians.
Sure.
Comedians are still not recognized as artists officially by the fucking government, bro. Like we
get
have
that, I
zero
get
access
that.
to grants. If I was if I go tell the government right now I'm a circus performer, I get access to every fucking grant that is under the Canadian fucking sun.
Well, I think maybe part of that is our fault though. And maybe that's how far we strayed in
I
the
think
sense
so.
of like, because we are still circus performers, man. We're still clowns.
I think so.
We're still clowns. We're going about it the wrong way. You know, we're like, no, it has to be stand up.
I think it's a part of training the audience too. Like we have but we're not trained enough because every fucking Canadian artist is beat down mentally to think that they have to go to the goddamn States. And this is why I'm saying even if I don't believe it, bro, I'm saying out loud that I will be the first.
So change it, man.
like, that's-
I don't even think there's a race to it.
It's not that there's a race
Yeah.
to it. But this
think-
is just I'm just saying that just to say it for
I think
myself.
it's very possible. I
For
think it's-
myself.
Man, I think it's a possibility. I think you can carve a crowd here.
I think you can carve a global crowd from here.
Yeah, you could do it wherever you
Why the
want.
fuck
I think in today's day and age with the internet and with everything, I think you could pretty much do it wherever you want to do it.
Correct.
Like I do believe that. But then I think that becomes important too, is where do you want to do it?
Correct.
Because I do think that there is almost, man, even if you look at it like population wise, there's a very small ceiling here. You know, you got what Canada, what do we have? 40 million.
Yeah, of course.
We're importing as much as we can. We're bringing in as many people as we can, and we're at 40 million. And you go, the States is you have access to 340 million people.
like even just the number of clubs.
Yeah, I mean everything, man. California alone has the same amount of people in it, the state of California, as all of Canada does.
And more comedy clubs.
Do you know what I mean? Well, okay,
than all
sure.
of Canada.
Well,
Probably in just like
but why wouldn't it? You see what I mean?
of
It
course.
has as much. It has the entire Canada within this one state, and then you got 49 other states to
I still
choose
think
from.
that like that
Even Europe
there's-
again.
It still doesn't scale down properly. There should still
Well-
be some level of like pop from Canada within Canada by Canadians that kind of makes it out. Now you can. And you know what? I'm even like I only say the first again, this is more for myself, but people have already done it. Let's fucking like there's people in the community that have popped from social media. Now I don't want to like and what looping back to the original conversation that started the show is like we're not really the meme guys, you know, so that's not how we're gonna pop. But this is
No,
where I
but
started
if
having
it
to challenge
works,
myself.
yeah.
What do I look like in the digital space? What am I comfortable doing? And that really took a lot of trial and error and just looking like a jackass too. You know, sometimes I just look like an asshole or whatever because I really am just trying. What kept me from being the comedy villain for so long was that I
wanted to ask you about that.
fucking knew that people in my direct immediate comedy community would take offense to some of this shit because they would feel a type of way. But why should that stop me from expressing what I have experienced? It's not a matter of I'm trying to take people down. I never name people. I don't treat people disrespectfully. That's not what this whole like. I hate what online culture is. That's what the villain is. I hate.
Yeah,
I hate that I got
agree.
called nigger to my face and I dealt with that like a little bitch at the beginning of my comedy career instead of being a fucking man. You know, but I wasn't the man that I am now. And this is what I'm saying. This is why the villain exists. Because ain't no reason for anybody coming up behind me that needs to experience that shit and not have some sort of, bro, I didn't have like that fucking inner circle shit there's no information in Canada. In the Canadian comedy community, nobody fucking helps anybody. For us, when we came up, it's different now. God bless the new crop. But for me coming up in the 13 years that I came up, people, you get some information, you fucking zip your mouth and you don't help anybody unless they're your direct friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then, if you start sensing some competition from them, you fucking cut that shit off.
Yeah, but that also does feel like a bit of a life thing. Do you know what I'm saying? That feels like a little bit of a life thing.
I think that's a cop-out, bro. I think that's a life thing because people just buy into the fact that it's a life thing.
I agree, but I'm saying I think you'll experience it even outside of comedy.
Oh, this is I see what
that's
you're
what
saying.
I mean.
It is a life
like
thing.
It's inescapable.
It's inescapable.
Yes,
100%. That is the high school effect. I just had this conversation with another person this week.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I graduated high school because I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. No more gossip. No more like this petty bullshit. Even though I was fighting and stuff, I never wanted like the gossip never made sense. Talking shit and not helping each other.
Gossip's tricky, man. Gossip's very tricky.
That's a mental thing that I clued into very quickly. If you're more willing to talk about somebody who's not in the room, then you're 100% talking about me when I'm not in the room.
Sure.
And I was a part of it when I was younger, but once I really tapped in, like around 22, once I started working on myself properly, I cut myself off from all that shit. Gossip was the first thing, because and that's why I don't hang out.
I get it. I get pulled in. I get pulled into a lot of like celebrity gossip and stuff. You know what I mean? That's smut to me. But I mean, it's the same. It's the same principle in the sense that it's all just, you know, garbage for your brain. It's not helping you. It's not. Yeah. You're not gaining much from it. But it is this. Yeah. It's tricky. I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, why did you take on the villain? Like, why did you take that on as a
MF Doom, bro? Doom is a mad inspiration for me. Has always been. But
he was the rap villain.
He was the rap villain, and there's a direct, bro. I'll pull it up right now. I'll show, because everything for me, like, this is my life.
I get it.
I've always been this deep as a kid. As like, even when I was hanging out, I would go home and then just watch like philosophical shit, bro. Carlin, I was listening to at 10, bro. Like I had no reason.
Yeah, I get it, man. I understand that.
But it's this one interview that Doom did with, it was like some, what's that fucking energy drink? Red Bull.
MF Doom did a Red Bull thing?
It was an interview, yeah. It was just like they sponsored it, so you can find it. So if you look this up, that's how you can find the fucking interview.
Okay.
And
can you send this to me?
Absolutely.
I'll actually. This is what.
It's an hour-long interview.
Yeah. I'll legit get the.
Yeah, here, look.
The mask really represents the whole, like, to rebel against the trying to sell the product as a human being. You know what I mean? To him, he don't care about the fame and all that shit. That shit is of no consequence, you know what I mean? And it's still entertaining. It's still like the theater, and it has the appeal of something that could be considered entertaining, but that message is still there. The villain represents anybody. Anybody in here could wear the mask and be the villain. Male, female, any race, so-called race, you know what I mean?
Oh, that I completely understand, man. That to me is that's the most admirable thing to me, is keeping your face out of this shit, because this stuff is all...
Well, I have a stage name, bro. I'm goofy enough. I've been Black Zeus from day one.
I fucked up, man. I used my birth name.
That's
you know what I mean?
hilarious.
I'm an idiot, man. I'm a dummy.
But see, I
used
was
to
the
laugh at
crazy
that
guy,
shit.
bro. But
Not
but
even
Kev,
yours, man. Like everything. This dude, the comedian. Like I now I get it, and I'm like, shit, man. I wish I. Man, I like Doom a lot too, but another big inspiration for me with the way I view life and the industry is Daft Punk. I love the way they did it, man. They kept their face out of it. They had an alias. They used robots as their thing, and then they got to walk around without the, you know what I mean? Because what's the benefit to it? If you see all these new famous dudes coming out and they're like, man, the fame thing sucks.
Yeah.
So you go, so why would we chase that? It's one thing if we're doing something, you're working on the craft, but why would you chase that? Like, man, I wouldn't want that. And then to hear what you have to go through, you're like, no, I'm not
I wasn't chasing anything. That's the thing. I was just doing what was in my heart. The Black Zeus name was in my heart.
But
I
good,
added
man.
hurdles in my way. Bro, I created fucking enemies. Like literally people hate me in the comedy. This is not a thing I'm making up or like I could give a fuck. I still do shows with these people, bro.
Yeah.
Like there were times where people like
I get the
talked
high
about it
school.
recently.
I get the high school.
Would bring me
element to it.
up like a fucking child, bro. And the crowd has no idea what they're witnessing.
I know.
This is literally just a fuck with me, and at that time it did. I'm not ashamed to admit it, bro. I'm not the person I am now, but I am because I went through that shit. Like, bro, and that's why the villain exists, bro. Like, cause why the fuck not, nigga? Like, why the fuck not? Because it's not an arrogant or egotistical thing. I literally am birthed out of the fucking shit. I'm a phoenix, bro. I birthed out of the ashes of this community, nigga. I'm not even just this community, my life.
Sure, but I would also just say to flip it the other way, just to go. I guess because you could also be the hero.
That's
you know
to
what I
me
mean?
You think I'm playing the villain?
No, I don't think
Like,
you are
I'm
the
called
villain.
the
That's what
villain.
I mean. But that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't. You know what scares me is the power of words. So you go, I wouldn't give yourself that label. You know what I mean? If people dub you the comedy villain, then so be it. And rap is a little different because rap you almost need like a really big persona. I guess with comedy you do too. But I would just say that you know, because then you actually become the villain. And that's what you don't want.
Yo, nigga, I don't care
You know
though.
what I mean?
That's
No, but
perception.
I mean for
That is
yourself.
perception.
I
Then
mean
how-
for self.
No, bro.
Like that's what. Like
But
you know, you know how.
But I am actually centered. Like the perception that others
get you
have of
centered.
the villain has nothing to do with what the villain is. I have established to myself what that is, and I am bold
Right.
enough to be that unapologetically because
Sure.
I don't have. Why do I, bro? Because all you have to do then is look at my page, look at my content, and you will 100% understand. Oh, this guy is talking about anti-corporate bullshit.
I get
He's
it,
talking
I get
literally
it.
about, but I'm doing it in a way where I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm a comedian that exists in the digital space. Everybody has a fucking persona. Why
agree.
is it cool that everybody, okay, so I should put on a fucking goofy mustache and say, come to my goddamn TikTok every goddamn Tuesday. Because that's the way everybody's doing it. I'm the fucking villain, nigga. My nuts dragged to the goddamn floor, you bitches. Have a goddamn spine about yourselves, bro. And this is to nobody except for the people that feel a way about it. That's what I'm talking about. This isn't to any one person, but one person will feel a way about it because you know who those are? People that talk shit, the people that gossip, the people that do dirt. When all I've done for 13 years, all I've done for 34 years on earth is be a positive dude. Bro, niggas persecuted
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
You know what?
Talk
if
it.
that nigga had a fucking gun and said, yo, do the right thing, you do the right thing, but you'd be doing the right thing, but you'd be afraid.
Wait,
You'd be
who
like-
has the gun in this situation?
I just put a gun in Jesus' hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Jesus doesn't need a gun, man.
Yeah, that was a crazy. I went
Don't do him
crazy with
dirty
it.
like that.
I went
Yeah,
too
don't
militant
give
with it.
Jesus a gun.
Now I am the villain. Listen, Jesus with a gun. No,
No,
I was making a point because
okay,
I wasn't
and-
putting an
No, no.
actual gun in Jesus' hands.
But this is what I'm saying, man. To you know, if you do the self-deprecating thing or the you know the down comics, sad comics, and eventually your life turns into that. That's all. That's the reason I say.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
But how many of those
here's
people
a
are-
question.
Yeah,
Does
okay.
the villain have an exit?
The villain has it all mapped out.
Okay,
This is-
so you
bro,
have
this
an
isn't a thing
exit
I'm
to the
fly by
villain.
nighting.
Okay.
This is not like this is help. This is
That
a
I
vehicle. This is a persona. This is my Instagram
it.
persona, nigga.
I get it, I know.
Because when I meet you at the clubs, when I meet any of my homies at the clubs, do I walk up? I'm the fucking I'm me, bro. Like this is my. Everybody has an Instagram, TikTok persona. The villain is
I
gonna be
suppose.
mine.
I get it.
And it is very clear because you're talking to me in the community. It's good, like you know what I mean. This is fuck the community. I'm not a comic for the community. I'm a comedian. I'm trying to be known by people around the fucking world. What
Yes,
what
I
am I
agree with that.
fucking focused on trying to be like? And that's what kept me from being me, bro. I did not do
got
the
you.
villain persona, which I've had in my head for a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, everybody has an online persona. I want this to be mine, the anti-fucking, but not like preachy, yo, fuck TikTok. I want to be funny about it too, because I'm a comedian. That's why you see my Sunday service videos. It's kind of stylistic, but there's a joke at the beginning. There's a clip from my podcast. There's more comedy clips. Like I'm a comedian. I know what I'm doing out here. But just because everybody's doing it the one way, bro, nigga, they killed Jesus, bro.
I get it.
Kill me if you want to.
Well, that's where I'm just saying don't get killed. That's all I'm saying.
But what is
I get it.
What is
that's
the fear in that? But wait, I'm not out here. I'm also because this is just Canada. This is to me. Say that again.
You could get rebirthed.
Nah. Yeah. Well, yes. 100%.
Get that.
Now we're getting occult. Oh fuck, bro. We're so far. Far.
Where do we go, man?
I got a place to go. We got some comedy news, but also how much?
Oh yeah, do we have to?
We've been in this.
Man, we blew the light.
We got some time. We're not getting the light just yet. There is some comedy news I want to talk about. That was the comedy recap. There is some pretty big shit going on in the Canadian comedy landscape. I guess we should talk about it. Let's see. We'll start with this one first. Just for Laughs cancellation raises questions about the future of Montreal Summer. So if you're not aware, Just for Laughs is the biggest comedy festival in the world. It is a Canadian-run comedy festival. Well, it was a Canadian-run comedy festival. It got bought out by an American company. I don't know if that's still the case. But nonetheless, it's been the biggest comedy festival for decades. It's birthed the careers of some of your favorite comics, legendary comics. And they just announced this year that they don't have the money to operate the festival this year. It started with just a Montreal show, but they just announced that the Toronto show is not happening. I would imagine the Vancouver show is not happening. And then I just found out recently from this other article, company that operates Just for Laughs owes nearly $22.5 million.
Wow, that's a big bill.
It's a big bill. Let's watch this one first.
Wow.
Yeah. Breaking news to share with you. Let me make sure I'm recording the audio. Yeah, see, this is why I need Dante here. Bam. All right, I got this audio here.
Okay.
Regarding the local comedy scene, this year's Just for Laughs Toronto Festival will not be taking place.
Yeah,
the confirmation follows.
Ha, bro.
That's interesting newscasting there. You see that? Where is this from? This is but you see how they do that? That's a little dirty move. That's a little dirty news move that nobody pays attention to. They go, oh, Just for Laughs is just finished, and then you just see ha ha ha. And they're laughing.
We're canceling its flagship event and undergoing restructuring. Just Inc. says it hopes the festivals will once again.
Restructuring is the word that I clued into here.
Oh, so yeah, it's just this year. It'll be back next year.
They're saying just this year. They'll be back next year, but
yeah, they probably
them
got
being this
some
in debt.
Yeah, but I would imagine they probably got shell companies, dude. They probably are like
probably. I feel bad for the employees that got canned because that always sucks. As an organization, though, if we're talking about unhealthy Canadian comedy, I don't think there's a bigger contributor than this festival right here.
It is weird. It's a Canadian festival. It always does the Canadians the dirtiest. It gives us the least top billing. You barely see Canadian names on the posters.
And the majority of their funding comes from the fact that it's Canadian.
Yes, and the funding comes from people's tax dollars, but I guess maybe that is what people want to see. Maybe people don't want to see Canadians. Maybe they're grossed out by Canadians.
Maybe that's what isn't that what they're told? Because if you're not advertising them, obviously, yes, you need the names.
I think they you know how Canadian radio has we have to play X
CRTC.
Percentage. Yeah.
It's mandated for them too. If you get any government grant, you have to have a percentage of your thing be Canadian content, operated content, whatever, people on staff.
Yeah.
And that's where
we've always kind of been a bit of a toilet bowl to this sort of stuff. They film Hollywood movies here. You know what I mean? Like some of the biggest blockbusters.
Hamilton, Ontario is the dirty Detroit, like a cheap Detroit.
Some of your favorite Hollywood blockbusters were entirely shot and filmed right here. You'd probably drive by the place 100 times a day. They were filmed right in Canada.
Vancouver.
All over, man. Toronto, Vancouver, everywhere. Whatever you needed. You want a New York-looking place? We'll set it up in Toronto. They've always kind of given us that
we're called Hollywood North now.
I think
Toronto.
We've been for a while.
Yeah.
I think we've been for a while. We do I'm telling you, some of the most classic movies were all Canadian run filmed, like you had a few actors that were American, and that was probably it.
When I was living in Toronto, I was working this job for this rent-a-car company.
Yes.
And we had all the contracts for the movie studios.
Yes.
So I had literally like firsthand backstage fucking peeks at, bro, it's a huge industry. It's
a big
money
operation.
mover. Yeah. Like during COVID, bro, they were still making movies. Like that's how much money they like. Yo, they have influence, bro.
I know. I disagreed with a lot of what they did during that whole time.
I'm getting our career shut down tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? What's funny about all this stuff is, I guess with a lot of things in life, I guess people are losing trust in these big institutions. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it sort of is reflective of everything. If you,
but I think all the institutions are also consolidating. It's that time, bro.
Yeah, because
everybody's
I think
down.
people, it's everything, right? People are tired of a lot of this stuff. They don't want to, you know. I think maybe that's it. I think it's, you know, how did they get into this much debt? $22.5 million.
I would hope, like, obviously they're shrinking down, but I would hope there's some sort of emphasis, because what I was shocked by when this news came out in the Canadian comedy community, a lot of comics, it's like an open secret how this festival operates. They get grant money,
right,
and then they have to, by mandate, have a certain percentage Canadian acts on the festival, but they don't promote them. They just have the bare minimum. They don't
also
them.
do pay them very little. That's
it's
I
not
think,
even just that. Okay, they pay them very little, but also like this. Yo, it's show business, folks. Like this is like you're new to this podcast. I've never really had guests. I'm doing the Black Bill Burr thing, but like the whole point of this is to be the side piece to the comedy career. But I've been very open and honest about what it is to be a comic coming up in this day and age. And this is the type of weird shit that exists industry wise. Like it's show business, and I think a lot of people miss the second part of that. They get into comedy. I just want to be a comedian. But once you get deep enough, you have to start to understand the business side of this shit, or you will get bent over. Have you ever heard the Nirvana song Bleep Me?
Yes.
Go listen to the Nirvana song Bleep Me. Even just type in Nirvana Bleep Me and it'll come up for sure. I'm just, YouTube censors. Yeah. Like it's literally that. When I found out the percentage of money that you sign away as a new comic, so you imagine as a new comic signing to this festival, you give them your fucking first amount of good minutes, and then you can't use that anywhere else, and then they take the majority of your money. Like,
but again, that's also there's a very big parallel of that to music, right? Music is going through a similar thing where,
fair enough.
And I see that. I think it might be time that those things are ending. Like I think that I don't know. I think we're finding ways to work around it, that we don't need these things as much as we once thought we did.
That's what this studio is. That's what, and that's what this kind of like. I think at a certain level too, you have to have so much crazy belief in yourself, because it's such an insane dream.
Absolutely,
that it's Canada doesn't have boasters. That's why that's why I'm creating like kind of ruffles with some people with this whole villain character. But I've also had conversations with others. Like again, it's not about being disrespectful to any one person. I disrupt this whole fucking.
I get it,
bullshit.
man. I get the.
But there is a line that I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I just say it like I believe that we become what we say we are and stuff. So I just.
You're not wrong.
Whatever.
I think it's more
like
what
even
you
right
think
down
than
to
what...
even right down to wrestling. Like wrestling. You go. They had the heel characters, the villains. I get all that. But then also when you look back on it, like who would be a villain in wrestling?
Eddie Guerrero.
I don't know him.
Or like Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Okay, yeah, and he's getting kind of.
Well, now he's really a villain in real life too.
But you see what I mean? It was almost like
he started the character. I think the character was always him, though.
I don't disagree with that. I'm a
wrestling nerd, from what I heard backstage, shit, like I don't think he was pooping on people back then, but it sounds like he was pretty close.
It does seem like this was probably just a long time happening. Whatever.
And if you even look at wrestling storylines, like how he treated people on camera, you got to imagine it. Everything jokes stem from a real place.
Yeah. What is it? Art
imitates life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life imitates art.
That one or the other, bro.
Yeah,
which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And that's all. That's the only reason I say that. That's the only reason I question the villain. But I get it. Like, man, I appreciate. I look at our gig like the Joker villain. You know what I mean? I think he's like the ultimate comedian, right? Because he was the one that did it all, burnt the money. He doesn't give a shit about the money. He was like, I'm just doing it for the big joke.
But for anarchy's sake.
Right. That was the big joke.
I have a direction I'm trying to go.
I get it.
And especially in Canada, if I'm saying bold statements like I want to be the first, which I already know is, again, this is for me, but I want to be the first to pop from Canada. Like, there has to be some sort of force behind that has to be created and perpetuated.
Yeah.
But I'm also more so than what I think, like what I say. It's what you think. That's the first law, right? All is mind. Like, it's what you think. And you could be thinking something different than what you're saying.
I get it. Intention is important.
So
I
as long,
understand.
and this is what I'm saying. So it comes down to the individual. I
understand
get what you're saying, because even I would say this, because most people aren't doing the internal work to make sure that the external image is in check.
Yes.
I'm literally keeping myself centered on a daily basis, like a moment-to-moment basis.
I get it.
And this is why I don't hang out, because I've become some sort, like, I do hang out. I have lots of social life.
I get it, man. I'm similar too. And I think part of that is also becoming an adult. It is weird to be like, you start thinking more, I don't know, adult thoughts. And then you're less like, well, I don't know. I guess that's part of it. That feels like part of it, because I get it. I don't want to party all the time. There are some times I want to, have a good time, good night. But generally speaking, I get it. I get the keeping to yourself, not always just giving away your energy and all that.
I didn't even learn about that shit until like my 20s.
That took me a long time too.
People would siphon my beautiful ass energy, bro. This sounds corny as fuck, but it's real. Like, people like,
never give up your ass energy. Keep your ass energy as long as you possibly can.
Pause, hella pause, bro.
Please,
man. You ended my career on my own podcast.
No, man, I'm saying in this business especially, please, for the love of all that is holy.
Because Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no.
Man, just keep your ass energy to yourself.
All right, let's wrap this podcast up. You got one more thing you want to add?
No, man. What else do you got to do? We
got one segment that we always do on this show.
So we'll do
it's the weekly poll results. I know you kind of see me post these every Monday.
Yeah, I try to, when I get them, I try to do them. But I like
this one had crazy activity. Salutes. But yeah, this is poll results. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, beautiful people. You too can be beautiful people. All you have to do is hit the subscribe. I'm not going to beg you, but if you like what you heard, maybe do it. Leave a comment, hit the like. It helps. But we're not begging. We got talent and patience, my nigga. It's all good. Every Monday on my Instagram social media feed and the community tab on YouTube, we post an interactive poll question. We leave it up for 24 hours on YouTube. We leave it up for a week. And then the people vote. We discuss the results here. Normally it's me and Dante, but today it'll be me and Kevin as my guest. This week's poll question: if you had the power to instantly end/fix one, which would it be? And the options were poverty/wealth and greed, hunger/poison foods, war/corrupt politics, or disease/big pharma. Tough choices. Literally probably the most engagement I've got. Okay, and we even got more engagement on the YouTube poll question this week, so I'll definitely mention it. But before we get to the results, Kev, how do you feel about this?
Man, this one's really tricky because it's one, it's like, what do you want to stop, and then two, it's like, man, this is a very poverty or wealth and greed. It's like, yeah, that sucks. And then I want to end poverty, fix wealth and greed. Yeah, that one. Hunger and poison, no, I don't care, because
poison foods.
Grow your own food. I think that's what we need to learn, that shit. And hunger, I think it's important to fast. I do it. It's like, try to discipline yourself for a day or two. And, so no, I don't want to end hunger. Learn. And then also,
that's a crazy statement.
I get it, man. I know, I get it. You want to make me a villain? There it is. No, but I don't, because shit, man. We do. I think every last one of us. I think myself. If they put me on a hunger strike and then until you learn how to grow your own food, I will accept it. I'll eat those words happily. So no, war and fix corrupt politics is tricky too. Wars seem like, I think that seems like a thing of life.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way they do it and the way they approach it. I don't agree with the military industrial complex.
You think war naturally plays out? Like to this scale?
Like I think on some extent, like you're always going to have swords and shields or you know.
War now
sticks
feels
and
like what
stones.
globalized war.
I think sometimes
like-
war is just literally the kids that are playing video games and you're playing Call of Duty, and maybe that's just actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they're actually controlling the thing. Maybe end disease and no, you know what? I'll go with war.
You're going with war?
Yeah.
You're sticking with that?
Yeah, because disease, same thing. I don't know how you're gonna end disease because I think.
Well,
that's
this is a
maybe-
fucking magic hypothetical.
No, I
you know?
get it, but I think if disease is mental, then it's like, well, how do you even fix that? You got to fix, and then I wouldn't fix big pharma. Big pharma can.
Also a crazy soundbite. That's hilarious.
Yeah, right there.
Well,
That's
no,
the-
but that could also mean because it says end/fix one, so you could just end it.
Oh, I get to pick. See, I thought the first one was ending and the second
No,
one
no, no.
was
Yeah,
fixing.
both of them they're all attached.
I see, either or.
So
I
it's
see, I see, I
poverty
see.
/ wealth and greed together. Hunger / poison
Okay, then I
foods
would say-
together.
I'll say
war / corrupt politics together. I'll just
war
say
corrupt
for the,
politics then.
Yeah?
I'll go with that. Yeah.
instantly. Okay.
Yeah, because if that's the case, yeah.
Now let me say this is why I love when people message me their thoughts about these
Sure.
things, and this is why I love when it gets more engagement. So I'll definitely try and make them as thought provoking as this.
Yes,
You know?
I think this is a
But
good one.
somebody said something that unlocked a way of thinking about this question. It's like it depends on the one that you pick has a knockoff effect. That if you pick the right one, you could actually potentially take out like 3 others with it. And the one that they suggested was hunger. You end hunger immediately, and people have no reason to well,
No, I think people always have a reason. The pettiness of people
Yeah.
will always find a reason.
to this scale though.
I think it starts small and goes big. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing's just what it's like it's a chain of events.
But also, once you got the food, because I would also make
See, and
because
again,
if it's a
man-
chain of events, then you have to see the forest through the trees.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
Like the food supply has been tampered with, and over time, that has created an effect where it's like all of a sudden now the rise of Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but what
and-
are we
and all
doing?
these mental,
I totally get it, man, and I get that.
You know what I
But
mean?
what are you gonna do? We have to grow our food again. I think we have to do that. So even that in itself also gets rid of hunger. You learn how to farm your own food. You're done, man. You're
but then
good.
that is the solution to hunger. So you're solving the hunger thing.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that one's good too. Then that one's good.
Because it's only because this is
I
their
still
argument.
think you're gonna get war over land.
I think it would become more regional how
material.
war was. Because before the
Tribal
globalization
war.
thing, yeah, it's like all
Yeah.
localized. Or if you wanted to go conquer a place, you had to amass an army and boat there. Now you can
I know,
fly
and
on-
take one shot. I know. Now they're cheating.
Yeah.
Now they're doing it as
It's not
as-
cheating because it's what
I
exists.
guess, but that's just dirty. You're
I
sending just
know.
electric drones over, and every single country is like supporting it one way or the other. Here's some more cash for some extra plastics and gizmos and gadgets, and you're like,
Call
oh,
of
where
Duty
does
to
it
me
all-
became weird after some. I used to love it, and then at a certain point, I'm
enjoy
like,
it too.
wait, this is actually
training.
this is what's going on. I'm just being desensitized to so that when I hear it about
I know.
this place just fucking.
And that's what tripped me out about the Xbox controllers. When
Yeah.
I started to realize it was a gun handle
Trigger.
and trigger, like even to the angle, right? Because you play it like this. So the angle you're holding it, it's like it's subconsciously. And then the vision, the bigger the screen gets, right? Oh, it's got a nice
I'm
big
there.
screen. Yeah, right there. And then you're like, now all you see is I get it.
VR.
And it's it was always VR.
Imagine we get to the point where AI and war become a symbiotic thing. So you're soldiers are hopping into what's that movie? All the soldiers were in VR.
There's like
Damn. So with
Pacific
Bruce Willis. No, with Bruce Willis.
Armageddon.
S starts with an S. Everybody's plugged into the fucking
Surrogates.
Surrogates. Thank you.
Yes.
Surrogates. And he discovers that the military actually has all their soldiers plugged into the fucking VR.
That's
They're
what to me it feels like sometimes to some extent. Like again, it feels like the kids that are playing it, you get a bunch of kids playing. Imagine you get a bunch of kids playing a video game
And then you connect it.
and you connect it and now you go, so we don't even have to do anything. These problems solve themselves because the kids are playing video games.
New objective
Maybe.
popped up on the screen.
Yep.
And really, it's some
yep.
military guy in a room being
Yep,
like,
yep.
"Hey, these infidels, quote unquote."
Yep.
Like,
That's where my brain goes, man. That's where
well,
I think.
and imagine if your brain goes there. Imagine people who get paid to think about this stuff.
I'm a simpleton, yeah.
Oh my god!
What were the results of this?
I'll also like, damn, because like the hunger argument made sense when they said it, but what you say, like,
yeah, I don't know. But again, if we fix one, you end one. Yeah. I think a lot of them are like that. If you end wealth, greed, then you fix poverty.
I think this also kills war. Like it would kill hunger. It would kill poison. Well,
no, you
not
know what's
necessarily poison foods.
You know what's interesting? I guess we do. See, people are always going to want stuff. That's where like greed and materialism in general gets tricky, man. Because just if you built your own car, someone would look at it and go like, "Yo, man, I want that car." And you're like, there's nothing you can do about that.
That's a very good way.
You know, it's and like whatever you do, man, get it right down to fashion. And it's like, well, if you do something, you do an outfit that's too snazzy, someone's gonna be like, I want that outfit. So I don't know. I don't think you ever really get rid of, like, things. Greed is like, that's why. It's one of the 7 deadly.
I'm going with hunger and poison foods.
That's a good one.
Like in my mind, I feel like there's more people around the world affected by hunger that would instantly be.
You know what? That one probably even fixes Big Parmesan and disease in turn, because if you don't have poison foods, I think you would eliminate a lot of disease.
Correct.
So yeah, so it seems like we're never getting rid of wealth, greed, and war and corruption, but we can eliminate hunger.
Maybe.
And I think that's
All right, these are the results. The result. Yeah. All right. So
Ooh.
50% of the people said poverty/wealth and greed. 8% said hunger/poison foods. 23% said war/corrupt politics, and 19% said disease/big pharma.
That's
like it was wild, bro. Like,
that's
and it constantly was
interesting, man.
moving.
Yeah. That's a neat one.
I forgot about the results. I forgot that it was 50% poverty, wealth, and greed. See, like,
Wow.
Damn, I love getting these questions, but I feel like I almost got to throw them out now to everybody else, so it
I
helps
think
them
so.
change
I think
the
you should,
way
you
they
should
look at these.
Absolutely. I think that's the whole point of them too, right? Especially the results, because if you got in early and you're like, no, man, I was there when it was just war and politics, and then you know what I mean, and then you see the results and you're like, holy shit,
50%.
That's a big
poverty/wealth and greed. I like the
and what you
knockoff
did
of-
the same question on YouTube.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just realized I for whatever reason it was just a text. The poll didn't upload.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll re-upload. I'll upload 2 poll questions to the YouTube this week because I really would like the results on that one on the YouTube. I got a lot of engagement on it, but yeah, like very interested on that question. Maybe I'll get your take before you leave on what to ask for tomorrow's poll question. We are recording this on Sunday, but it's been a long episode, and I know like we all got
my
shit to do.
apologies. Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
Well, I don't
This
know
is
if
bro,
people
this-
are sitting there looking at their clock, going, "Man, I thought this was an hour. Look at this."
People want long form shit now.
I know.
People want long form shit now, and this is what the podcast is, bro. Like this is exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
And I'm now realizing it's like, oh, I think it is time to start bringing in like my community and have these conversations and open dialogues.
I'm very grateful for it, man. Very much so, because I like this stuff, you know, and I enjoy doing this stuff. I have that
and you know
my
what?
own problems with the online world, you know. I just so I appreciate the
It's a good excuse, bro. Because now with the lack of time, that's what nobody has time. But as comics, I feel like there's common ways to make time. Because this, as much as this is a podcast for the world, I just got to chill with my really good friend and catch up for a fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do also have to edit this. So that's gonna be a pain in the ass. But yeah, bro.
Maybe Dante can do it.
You sick bastard.
he's sick.
No, I love you, Dante. Thank you for everything you do, man. Much appreciated. And get back, please, for the love of God. Fucking heal up. Drink Robitussin. I don't know. Yo, Kev, thank you again for being here. Where can the people find you online, and what do you want to promote?
Nothing. Don't promote it. Don't follow me. Don't come and see me.
I respect that.
I don't know, man. You know the usual stuff. I'll share it on my stuff. I'll end up. I'm not on a lot of the social sites that I should be on. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on.
I envy you, man.
You know, huh?
I envy. I was just whispering. I'm like, I envy you, bro.
mean, whatever. I'm not. I have Instagram, but so, and I'll find it on there, and then I'll put. So it's.
I'll make sure I tag. I'll make it easy for you.
Yeah, I know, man. We'll find it that way. But then in terms of thing, I'll be at the clubs. I'll be at the corner this month, whenever on the weekend.
Downtown Toronto.
Downtown Toronto, yeah. And that's it, man. Onward and upward. On to the next thing.
Love and respect. And
Man,
once
you.
again, if you guys want to fucking see more, we just back catalog the podcast. There's 4 seasons on the Patreon. Well, we're finishing it up. The comedy special is available if you want to watch and support. It's only $10 on the Patreon shop or as part of a subscription. Or you could just hit the subscribe button, because once YouTube gets to 1,000 subs, we're just going to release it for free. I'm trying to be transparent. I saw Andrew Schultz got caught up in that fucking rigmarole. It's like, I'm selling the thing up front if you want to support, but it will be for free if you just support for free. Subscribe, but not begging. Not begging. What are you saying?
Nah, man, just tell them too. You're talking comedy villain, then just tell them. Just support this guy, man. If you enjoy comedy, if you like this stuff, then do it. You know what to do. That's the shit I hate, man. I hate having to do it every single time and telling you know what to do. If you want to do it, you like comedy, you enjoy this stuff, then support them, man. Support the arts in general and yeah, man, if you got merch,
yeah, I do.
And buy the merch too.
You're the man, bro. You're the man.
But that's what it is, man. Tell them you know what to do. Especially
now
if you're gonna
the villain. All right.
If you're gonna play the man. Support.
All right,
this
buy
guy.
my shit, you bitch ass niggas.
Yeah,
Support.
Tell them.
All right, I love y'all. We will be back next week. This has been Black Zeus the podcast, season 5, episode 7. Peace.
Hey yo, it's Black Zeus the podcast, season 5. Welcome to the show where we talk about life, talk about the come up, and sometimes we fight. But in the end, it ain't a thing, cause we ain't trying to be right. We're just old new niggas with another podcast.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast, season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10, and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So, like, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.